And broadcasting live from the beautiful Cascade Mountains. It is 4:25 p.m. on the West Coast. It is 7:25 over on the East. And nobody else really fucking matters now, do they? You're all flyover country anyway. No. All right. Yeah, I had to. All right, so check it out, guys. This isn't a hate review. It's probably going to be a little bit mixed, but I found this video this morning. Anti-Trekker put this out about around noon my time, so like 4.5 hours ago. And we're going to do a little bit of a review on it. Let's chit-chat here for a minute, Doku, until at least a couple people get in here. First off, since this is about the fandom menace dying, you said that you were supposedly a member of the fandom menace, but you didn't know it. How's that work?
Well, what I mean by that is I've been critical of Star Wars. I've been critical of Marvel, both the cinematic universe and the comics. I've watched my local comic shop die. I've been critical of DC. Admittedly, I'm not much of a Trekkie, but I have been watching fantasy, sci-fi, even the horror genre, die off. And like I said, I'm critical of what is happening in these types of genres. And because of that, well, I'm apparently part of the fandom menace and Comicsgate or whatever label you want to put on it, because that's apparently the way things work nowadays.
Yeah, and I was never really in the fandom menace. I think that kicked off during Comicsgate or whatever, and that happened 2015, 2014. That was right before I got into YouTube.
No, I would say Comicsgate kicked off right around 2016, 2017. I mean, you can look at your boy Zach, aka Diversity in Comics, Ethan Van Sciver, Yellow Flash, Englentine. Really, it was just we're critiquing comics because they just the comic industry itself decided they wanted to start pandering to a certain demographic, which, in my opinion, doesn't really care about comics. They care about checkboxes. They didn't like Captain America. They didn't like Wonder Woman. They didn't like Black Widow. They wanted comics to be what they thought comics should be, and because of the direction the industry took, it created this thing that we call Comicsgate, and all that has to do with is we're critiquing comics for, well, to be blunt, being crap, and for looking at your fandom, the people that you're supposed to actually be trying to sell a product to, and they called us toxic. They said we're bad, you're this, you're that, and they didn't like the critique, they didn't like the pushback, and here we are, lo and behold.
Yeah, and that was, so if it was 2016, 2017, that's right about when I started. And I was doing purely politics, which is why that went under the radar to me. But, all right. Since we're going to be stopping this quite a bit, probably, I might as well start rolling it. So I'm going to mute and hit play.
Hey guys, Michael J. Crawford, the Anti-Trekker here. This is going to be a difficult video for me to make, to be honest with you, and I tried writing a couple of scripts. I just couldn't get it right, so I decided to just do a free form video and kind of get my feelings out, and because I need to let you know what I'm thinking. The fandom menace is, if not dead, dying. And it makes me sad because, you know, when the fandom menace started, really the earliest roots of the fandom menace as we see it today was centered around some of the objections to Ghostbusters 2016. It truly grew with the release of Star Trek Discovery and the last.
I want to pause it first there because I hate the whole idea of Ghostbusters 2016. I don't believe that was what he gets onto later, forced hatred of a brand. That was truly us feeling stabbed in the fucking back, right?
And that was kind of one of the original points that I had before we went live. I don't feel that the fandom menace is dying. If you don't have something to defend, then can you really have a group trying to sit there and say, "Oh, well, this isn't what this franchise should be." I stand by my statement. I hate to break it to you guys. The franchise that you're so vehemently trying to defend, it's dead. You can do all the Indiegogos and all the GoFundMe's and whatever you want to do. You can try to defend something, but guess what? Star Wars isn't your franchise. Ghostbusters is not your franchise. Star Trek is not your franchise. That franchise is under the control of certain people, and what you're complaining about is that they're pandering to a different demographic, and that demographic is not you. I'm right there with the Comics Gate and the fandom menace people. Yeah, you kind of kick the fandom under the bus. You talk shit about us. You treat us like crap. You call us toxic. I get it. I understand why you're upset, but you can't defend something if there's nothing to defend, and that's why I say the fandom menace isn't dying. It's just there's nothing left to defend. Go ahead and keep trying to defend Star Wars. I'm sorry, dude. It's dead.
Well, and just to give Anti-Trekker some props here, you see the background, like that's a green screen probably, right? But in the background, that's him on a fucking monitor. He actually had to do that. You know what I mean? Good for you, buddy. Good for you.
I did notice that touch, and that is good.
Right? I like that. And a few people have finally showed up. What's up, guys? Is the fandom menace dead, or is it dying? Well, that's our discussion for the Redeye today. So I'm going to go ahead and hit play on this and let him get a little bit further than a minute.
Last Jedi, and just the outrage over what was happening to Star Wars and Star Trek. And now it's become exactly what they're ranting against. And I know that's unfortunately a regular pattern that we see, that if someone dedicates themselves to the eradication of a thing, they become that thing. And that's what the fandom menace is becoming. They are becoming the SJWs, just on the other side of the fence.
Like, I wasn't going to pause it there and let you say something about that. Is the Phantom Menace, are they the anti-SJWs pretty much? Same coin, different side?
I'm glad you paused it there, because I do want to say something about that. You could look at it from that perspective, the same way that I know people have been talking about, yeah, we need gatekeeping. In a way, you're right. We do need some kind of gatekeeping. But I actually don't agree with that sentiment. Gatekeeping is not the answer. If you ask me, my personal opinion. The problem that we have, especially in regards to these well-established franchises and what they represent, is the fact that the products being put out right now, and you can see it with the creators, the writers, take your pick. It doesn't matter if it's comics, doesn't matter if it's sci-fi. It's the fact that there's no love for the franchise itself. They don't care about the franchise. They don't care about the fandom. The people that are working within these spaces, within these realms, they don't care about what came before it. Yeah, you might have a nod here, a little homage there, but at the end of the day, do they care about Star Trek? Do they care about Star Wars? Do they care about whatever Marvel Comics or DC Comics did? No, they don't. They want to make it theirs. And if you don't like it, well, guess what? You're toxic, you're this, you're that, you're the fandom menace. And they say, well, it's not made for you. Go ahead and make your own. Well, this was a franchise and a product that was made for us for years, decades. And by your own logic, it wasn't made for you. It's just you're new to the space. But now suddenly we're the ones that should be pushed out because there's not enough of this checkbox or that checkbox. Why didn't you go make your own? I could use that same logic against you. And this is why I say, no, we haven't become the SJWs. And the fandom menace is not dying. It's just there's nothing to defend.
I don't know about that, and we'll get deeper into that. Hi, William. My favorite troll is in the chat. How you doing? The thing is, you saw this same phenomenon happen with the actual anti-SJWs, the people that were attacking all the the Steve Shives and the Christie Winners, and who came out of that from our side of the fight still kind of themselves, like Baring, Sargon. Is he still the same guy at the beginning of the fight than he is now? Because he's kind of, I don't know. I think his ego is almost as big as the fucking Armored Skeptics.
Well, I know there's gonna be people who are unwilling to let go of Star Wars or Star Trek or Marvel or whatever it is. And yeah, okay, you guys have that attachment to it. You'll fight to the death for it. I'm not one of those people. You know what? It's become something that I don't like, and I'll vote with my wallet. I'll talk about it. I'll express that, hey, I liked it better the way it was. What you guys are doing with it is crap. I don't like it. But that's my opinion. And this is where I'm going to disagree with Anti-Trekker, is if you like something, great. I'm glad you like it. I don't. I'm not going to spend my money on it. I don't think that there's anyone, at least anyone with some degree of pull amongst Comicsgate or the Fandom Menace, that is gonna sit there and say, because I don't like it, it shouldn't exist. I can just choose to go do something. I can spend my time another way. I'll spend my money as I see fit. I'm not gonna
firearms and ammo.
Damn it. But yeah, I still have not seen Geeks and Gamers or Ethan Van Sciver or Diversity in Comics saying, this thing should be banned from existence, like yeet it out of existence, like toss it into the sun. No, I actually kind of want you guys to keep doing what you're doing because it gives me something to talk about. I'm just not going to support it because I don't have to. I'm not obliged to.
Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and hit play again because I think we're starting to repeat ourselves. Let's let him get a little bit further.
They are, in fact, in some ways becoming exactly what the SJWs have accused them of being all along. What do I mean by that? Well, Star Trek Lower Decks. I'm not saying it's the greatest show of all time, not even saying it's a particularly good Star Trek show. But episode 3, at least, now I gave it a 7.5 in my review, and I stand by that. I stand by the fact that that show, to me, was not only reverential, it was, and referential, it was just plain fun.
I'll
The
second
show
that.
played homage to many moments we've seen before in Trek, some of them such deep cuts that even most of the fandom didn't catch it.
I have to assist with a surgery, and I honestly can't remember which deck sickbay is on.
26?
Is that... do we have that many?
It's pretty bad, sir. It looks like the control deck's 26 up to 11.
How big is this ship?
There are 24 decks.
It's pretty bad, sir. It looks like the control deck's 26 up to 11.
I have to assist with a surgery, and I honestly can't remember which deck sickbay is on.
26?
Is that... do we have that many?
Little references like that, beautiful. Loved it. The fact that we saw Ransom fighting the giant monster without his shirt. Hilarious. A scene, by the way, to which Anna, that Star Wars girl, in her review said was horrible and wrong, and we never see crap like that in Trek. Right. Well, we've never seen Kirk lose part of or his entire shirt while fighting something in Trek. Now, yes, they didn't have a giant monster for him to fight, but that's mainly because of the budget and effects available at the time for the original.
And we're not going to dwell too much on Lower Decks because you and I were talking about it. We still plan on reviewing the last 2 episodes that we haven't reviewed yet, plus this week's. So we won't dwell too much. But that's the same thing I've been saying in my reviews. And you have disagreed with me on. You think it's stupid humor. I get it. That's why we're reviewing it together, because it's 2 different points of view. But these guys know Star Trek.
Well,
and they're not even catching this, or they're blatantly ignoring it. And now, and I'll go on something I don't think he even brings up. Seriously, the next time I hear a video that's only rumor, that's all completely found on 4chan, I'm gonna fucking rip out what little hair is left on my head. I mean, this shit is getting ridiculous. Well, unconfirmed sources. Yeah, 4chan. That's your unconfirmed sources. Shut the fuck up.
Well, Dodge, that's my thing. I don't like Star Trek Lower Decks simply because I think it's stupid. I could go watch Family Guy, Rick and Morty. It's the same thing. I do appreciate the fact that they at least take the time to give homage and say, yeah, it's still Star Trek. We'll give you guys, that nod. That's fine by me. That requires at least some attention to detail. You're paying attention to the source material. I'm okay with that. I personally just think the show is stupid. But that's my personal opinion. So again, this is kind of where I don't like Anti-Trekker on his opinion about the fandom menace, not about the show itself. I haven't heard anyone say just because you don't like the show personally means it's bad. I don't like the show personally. I haven't heard anyone say you should dislike this because it's crap. I think it's crap. But if you like it, then by all means, watch it. I don't want the show to be unsuccessful because ultimately at the end of the day, if this show isn't successful, for all you Star Trek fans, guess what? If it's not successful, you're not going to get any more Star Trek. And they're going to move on to something else. It's the same thing with Star Wars. Same thing with Marvel. As soon as these franchises stop being successful, you're not going to get any more of it. So whether you like or dislike it, you should want at least some degree of success out of these franchises. But that's just the truth.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm going to go ahead and hit play again.
Series. And in fact, the funny thing about this is that when another show made a direct reference to Trek, almost identical.
Before your other show, do it now!
That was the show. I'm not that guy.
Fred, you never forgot a line. You never missed the mark. Oh.
It's not me anymore, man.
Everybody thought it was brilliant. It saddens me to see the forced anger, the forced hatred coming from the fandom menace. And by the way, not just forced, but factually incorrect. And because here's the thing, I get it. I know that humor is completely subjective. You may watch a joke on Lower Decks and think it is the worst thing ever. Someone else might think it's hilarious. Right? It just varies from person to person. Humor is completely and utterly subjective. And that's why when you're reviewing a comedy, that's a hard thing to do, because simply saying it's not funny is not going to fix anything. It's not even a valid critique, because to say something is funny or not funny is simply saying it didn't make me laugh. But that doesn't mean it won't make you laugh. Some people, I'll give you a great example. There was a series of books that came out in the late 80s to early 90s called Truly Tasteless Jokes. There's an entire series of these books. And in the books, they have jokes that are considered tasteless. I will give you an example. Why did the child fall out of the swing? Because he was dead.
I'm not gonna lie, that almost made me laugh.
No, I need to correct him. Okay, it's why did the baby fall out of the swing? Because it was dead. Okay, get the joke right.
Damn it, Dodge. But no, he does have a valid point. Yes, humor is subjective, and again, going back to Lower Decks, I think the show is stupid. And yeah, that's my opinion. It doesn't necessarily mean the show is bad. It's just my opinion that the show is bad. So I can talk shit about it all I want.
That's perfectly fine, and I'm allowed to disagree with you. And what up, Penoid? He says, I think Mad Dodge doesn't know how old he is. Fuck you, like you don't watch South Park. Shut the fuck up, gorilla.
But no, he does bring up a valid point that, yes, humor is subjective. And when you're working in a franchise that has a hardcore fan base, you're going to have your hits, you're going to have your misses. That's perfectly fine. I don't think that's what the Fandom Menace or Comicsgate is really trying to say. We don't care if the show is good or bad. More of what we care about is, are you actually treating the franchise itself, what it represents, with any type of respect? And more specifically, the fandom behind it. I think that's more of what pisses people off. Again, it's that whole, well, it wasn't made for you. Well, we're the fans. We're the one giving you money. But you're going to take it and turn it into something else? Yeah, you kind of might actually want to cater to the people giving you money first, rather than taking a franchise and turning it into something that it's not. And that's my primary disagreement here.
Yeah.
Lower Decks, though, I still think he makes a point. It still knows what universe it's set in, and it's not going out of its way to make the fans feel bad about being fans of Star Trek. At least that's not the vibe I get. I'm sure people will disagree with me.
Yeah, and like I said, we'll go in on Lower Decks deeper later. But Pinoy brings up a good point. Actually, he did have a point there. Pinoy says, Star Trek suffers from Harley-Davidson syndrome, just like Star Wars. No kids are interested.
That is a point because, let's be honest, a lot of, almost every franchise from Star Wars, Star Trek, all the way to G.I. Joe, they have a primary purpose, and that's to sell toys.
Well, and I don't know about other parents. I just know about myself. But my kids watch baseball with me. Hardly anybody watches baseball, but we're keeping it alive in my family. We're all Dodger fans. We watch Star Trek together. We watch Stargate together. I also watch SpongeBob with them and watch the crap the girls like those stupid troll movies. I've had to sit through that. So we mix the stuff we like with the stuff that they automatically like, and they have a broader palette, I suppose.
No, dude, at the end of the day, you're a consumer. So, okay, you brought up baseball cards. Yeah, there's always a way to sell something. That's what you have to realize. At the end of the day, the franchise is there to make money. It doesn't matter if it's baseball. It doesn't matter if it's basketball, NFL. Doesn't matter if it's Star Trek. Doesn't matter if it's Star Wars. Whether you're trying to sell cards or if you're trying to sell action figures, you have a fan base. That's who you're supposed to cater to. The reason these franchises are failing is because they're looking at the fan base that they've been catered to and kicking it to the wayside because the franchise itself has already become successful, and now another creative group, another demographic is coming in, and they're trying to cater to a demographic that, to be honest, never gave a damn about Star Wars or Star Trek or baseball to begin with. That's why these franchises are failing. It's not because the fandom is toxic. It's because you're trying to turn it into something that it wasn't, and it never was. That's the problem. But the problem is not the fans. That's why you have the fandom menace. It's because the fans are pissed. You still there, Dodge?
Yeah, I'm gonna hit play. Pinoy said you need a future, and that's a good point. But I'm gonna hit play. My daughter's outside. I gotta go check on her real quick. So it's gonna be playing for a minute.
All right.
Now, I guarantee you that some people watching this video found that joke to be cruel, offensive, and disgusting. And other people watching the same video thought that was hilarious and probably were laughing literally out loud when I said that joke. Now, so simply saying it's not funny is not really a critique, but then being factually incorrect by saying things that are either out of ignorance or outright lies makes it so that your review has no value whatsoever. And I will give you a couple of examples here. Example number one, Anna, that Star Wars girl. And by the way, every person that I talk about in this, the reason I chose these people to talk about are because I know them, I've talked to them, and I respect them. I would not talk, like, I'm not talking about channels that I have no respect for. For example, the Renegade Cut. I'm not going to include him in this because I have no respect for that channel. That Star Wars Girl, Nerdrotic, Mecha Random, Midnight's Edge, Doomcock, I love those guys, and I've talked to every one of them directly, and you know what? I haven't been afraid to voice my disagreement with them on some things, and they know it. And for the most part, I think they respect me. And so if that's the case, then we can have a genuine conversation about this. But I'm saying to you guys, who I consider my friends, you're lying or you're ignorant of the facts. And that needs to change. Now, what do I mean by that? In Anna's rant about episode 3, she went on over and over and over about how Alex Kurtzman said that this is a kids show, that this show is trying to get kids excited about Star Trek again.
This show is not for children, even though what's-his-face, Alex Kurtzman, said, oh yeah, this is intended to get children excited about Star Trek.
And talking about how incredibly inappropriate it is because there's sex, there's violence, there's swearing. It's not appropriate for these kids that Kurtzman is so adamantly saying this show is for. That is factually incorrect. What Alex Kurtzman was talking about is a show that has not yet been released. It's called Star Trek Prodigy, and it's going to be on Nickelodeon because Nickelodeon is a kids network, and it is aimed at kids.
See, that's the main problem I fucking have too. Is not just, the rumors that get propagated amongst these channels, but the fact that now they are flat out lying, because you're telling me they don't know that Prodigy was being released on Nickelodeon, because I fucking knew a year and a half ago. And these guys have 500,000 subs. So they better be keeping track of this way better than me. I'm at 1.5K. You know what I mean? You're at 500,000. You are making money. This is your job. You're lying. You're flat out lying.
I wouldn't go as far as to say lying. I mean, they could be. It could be something as simple as ignorance. Either way, it's misinformation. So no, he has a valid point. I'm not going to disagree. You should know better.
Yeah, because I mean, even I know better. Hell, I bet you've heard about this Nickelodeon show, and you're not even a Trekkie.
Actually, to be honest, I haven't. But to be fair, I haven't really been paying attention to it. But no, he has a point. If a show is marketed to a certain demographic, then yeah, you have a point. So if you have it marketed towards kids and you have sex and violence in it, yeah, okay, you have a reason to criticize it. But if that's not the case, then, well, that's not the case. Argument over. There's no argument to be made.
Yeah, and he was mid-rant there. I just had to pause it and throw my 2 cents in. I'll let him continue here.
This show is on CBS All Access and is rated MA or 14 at least. And they're not aiming this show at kids. There's nothing about this show that is meant for kids. And by the way, Rick and Morty isn't really a kid's show either now, is it? And this show is advertised as being from the creators of Rick and Morty. And so what the hell did you expect? And this is the problem. The reason that many in the fandom menace are angry is because this show is exactly what they advertised it to be. A Rick and Morty style show that takes place in the Trek universe. We've seen the best of the best, the crew of the Enterprise. This is another thing from that Star Wars girl. She talked about all these things. How could someone be in Starfleet and be this incompetent when, honestly, the only member of the crew that seems like they shouldn't be in Starfleet is Mariner.
This is Starfleet. it's very difficult to get into Starfleet, which I do not think that they are aware. And, people, basically push themselves to the very limit. And if you watch the fucking Next Generation, you would know that. If you watched any Starfleet, only the best of the best, the elite of humanity, get into Starfleet.
Rutherford, Tindy, and Boimir all are excellent examples of a new, young Starfleet recruit who wants to do better. Okay? Mariner is the only one that shouldn't be there, and I do think it's nepotism is the only reason she's there, because her dad is an admiral, her mom is a captain. Just like the only reason Wesley Crusher was an ensign before he even went to the academy is because he happened to be the son of Beverly Crusher, who Captain Picard killed his father and had a crush on his mother.
This has nothing to do with really Anti-Trekker or the fandom menace, but how fucked up is that? Right? Like, Picard, you dog.
I mean, it is, and Anti-Trekker actually does have a point here. And it's part of the reason I actually don't like Lower Decks. Every single character in that show should have been kicked out. Like, I don't know about you guys, but those are not the people I want on my ship. Get rid of them. They should have been gotten rid of. But you know what that tells me?
Captain of the ship, though, so they kind of set it up like it's like the Love Boat in Star Trek. Like, come on.
Well, again, that tells me that the captain of the ship is horribly incompetent, because for some reason the captain of the ship hasn't realized that their crew is incompetent, and that irritates me. But again, it's a personal thing. It's I get that you have the setting. It's supposed to be cheeky. It's supposed to be funny, but it doesn't fit for the setting for me. And I would have kicked you off the ship the next time that I had the chance.
That's fair, but that's what they. Well, once again, he had a point. That's what they fucking said it would be. They said it was going to be not the A squad, and not even the B squad. This is like Squad Z.
Well, no, and again, if you had kicked all these characters off the ship, well, you wouldn't have a show now, would you?
Exactly. So we're watching them stumble through it, and it's kind of funny. And no, I was never in the military. I made that very clear, Aunt Jack. I am pretty sure you already knew that. And I don't think Doku was in the military, but I can't speak for him.
No, I wasn't in the military. They wouldn't accept me for reasons I'm not going to say on air. But again, there's a reason I have issues.
He has no balls. Or he's missing one. It threw him off balance. No.
Oh no, it's because I decided to smoke laxatives.
Oh shit. Okay. I'm gonna play. God damn it.
All right, nepotism is a real thing, and that's why Mariner is on the ship, in my opinion. But when you start talking about how these people don't belong in Starfleet because they're not incredibly elite skilled and all that, you're confusing Starfleet with the Enterprise. And that's a problem. The Enterprise, in the original series, while it was only one of 12 ships, became known after its 5-year mission as being the only ship that survived the 5-year mission. All the other ships were destroyed. And if you don't believe me, go back and rewatch the animated series or the original series. The other 11, of course, my phone goes off. The other 11 starships that are built, the Constitution class fleet that was built, the Enterprise is the only one that made it through its 5-year mission in the Kirk era. And so the Enterprise became synonymous.
At Philadelphia, we know what makes the perfect smear of cream cheese. You need only the freshest milk and cream.
That one.
Fuck you, ads.
That
ad come from? It won't let me skip it either.
Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Schmear
Fuck
perfection.
Philly.
With the best of the best. And so that's why we have things like Ensign Gomez in the next generation.
So no, I understand where Anti-Trekker is coming from on this one, but I want to make a point. Can you tell me that all the other ships didn't make it past their 5-year mission because of incompetence, or because they ran into, alien races or natural phenomena that, destroyed their ships? I'm pretty sure it wasn't because you had someone that was trying to drink a margarita on the lower decks and they accidentally spilled it on something that was important so that the ship could continue its mission. I'm pretty sure that wasn't the reason. Oh, but Starfleet's supposed to be elite. Yeah, you're right. I'm pretty sure you're not gonna have a lower deck person, regardless of how incompetent they are. Just screw it. It's only one margarita. Oh yeah, let's get the entire ship and its crew and its mission completely destroyed. No, that's a BS argument. I'm sorry. I can't agree with him on that one.
Okay, was MASH a complete failure because the surgeon unit had a fucking still in their tent? No, it was a funny gimmick. They made a gag. It's a comedy.
But the entire show is a gimmick, and that's the problem. The entire show doesn't make sense because, dude, this entire show is about people who shouldn't even be on this ship to begin with. It's funny. Don't get me wrong.
Why do you want a serious show when they advertised it as not being serious?
I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it.
Salt.
No, I'm not saying it needs to be serious. I'm saying it doesn't make sense, and that's why I don't like it. It's funny. Yes. It's stupid. Yes. But for the setting they're trying to put it in, it doesn't make sense. And that's why it doesn't work.
You know what they should have did, and this would have shut even you up? Made it a cargo vessel that wasn't even Starfleet. You could have did whatever gimmick you wanted.
Oh, that would have been that would have been perfectly fine. Like, hell, make it one of the ships that never made it back because they were too incompetent to actually make it back. Do that. The fact that they're actually trying to treat they're trying to frame the show in a way that it's actually serious, even though they're saying it's not. It's two conflicting. It's two conflicting approaches. You're trying to tell me that this ship is, completed its 5-year mission and it's Starfleet. No, make it Lost in Space. That will make more sense.
He's saying he was bringing up the Enterprise, and Enterprise had a 5-year mission, and the Enterprise, he's saying, was the only ship to survive it, and it became the best of the best. MC, rightly so, I believe, brought up the Lexington, but we'll go ahead and hit play, so you'll understand what he's saying a little bit better.
Generation who fought tooth and nail to get a posting on the Enterprise because she wanted to be on the ship that was out there making first contact, that was out there exploring strange new worlds, that was out there on the fringe of what was going on. The Cerritos is not that. The Cerritos is the exact opposite. They are the mundane. They are the average or below average. They are not the best of the best. They don't have the best captain, the best first officer, and they certainly don't have the best ensigns in Starfleet. They have one ensign that could truly excel, and that's Boromir.
No. Just a second. I gotta hit pause for just a second. Mad props to him for remembering that fucker's name, because that is the hardest name to remember in all of Star Trek. I swear to God.
I'll give it to you.
Right? I'm gonna go ahead and hit play again after I what up MC, what up Dade, how you guys doing? Yeah, we'll go ahead and go back to this because he's gonna start throwing haymakers here in a minute or two, if I remember right.
All right, well, I'll go ahead and mute.
That's a critique on Anna getting the facts wrong. But let me talk to you about what really bothered me more than anything else of this latest wave of reviews from the Fandom Menace. And that is a person that I truly love, that I respect, that I, that I cared about from long before he became a commonly known figure. In fact, the first time I talked to this person, I had more subs than him. And I sent him a message saying, hey, you should come on my channel sometime. Maybe I can get you some more subs. And that person is Overlord DVD, better known as Doomcock. I love the guy. I think he's a great guy. I love his style. I love the persona he's created. I love almost everything about his channel. But that review pissed me off. And the reason that review pissed me off is because he outright lied to his audience. And I know it for a fact. And it's eating at me. It really bothers me. And I understand the reason that many in the Fandom Menace are ranting and about Lower Decks is not because first of all, none of them are paying that much attention to it, because they give it a superficial viewing and then they look for things they can rant about rather than actually paying attention to what they're trying to do. But then they have to say these things in order to keep their numbers up. I understand why I only have 14,000 subscribers compared to, 100,000, 200,000 like we see in some people in the Phantom Menace. I get that, because I am not going to say something sucks when I genuinely don't think it sucks. And I'm not going to say something is great when I genuinely don't think it's great. And you know what? While Lower Decks is not the best, Episode 3 was pretty damn funny. Now, what about the lie? Well, here's what he said.
Is this in keeping with Gene Roddenberry's values? Is this in any way okay?
He talked about how Lower Decks is an insult, a desecration, if you will, of the Roddenberry vision of Trek. Gene Roddenberry will be turning over his... And Doomcock does this a lot. I've seen him do it several times now when referring to either Discovery, Picard, or now Lower Decks. That this is stomping on Gene Roddenberry's vision. Oh my God, Gene Roddenberry must be turning over in his grave. Oh no, when Doomcock knows damn well that Gene Roddenberry did not have a vision except for dollar signs. That Gene Roddenberry did not have this vision of this brilliant multicultural society. Gene Roddenberry wanted to make a buck, and he got a clever idea. He was like, hey, you know what we haven't seen? A serious TV drama done in space. And so he gets that idea. And that's a good idea. I'm not going to deny he came up with a good idea. And so the network said, okay, make a pilot. And what did he make? He made The Cage. An all-white cast, by the way, except for one transporter guy in the background who was Asian. But other than that, the entire cast was white. The only thing that you could remotely suggest is progressive about The Cage is the fact that a woman was the first officer, and they even call it out in the episode that Pike is uncomfortable having a woman on the bridge.
I don't know Doomcock, so I'm not going to touch upon the lie part of the issue, but when it comes to Gene Roddenberry, I agree with Anti-Trekker, because there's a lot of stories about good old Gene and that casting couch that came out long before the Me Too movement. Like, this shit was fucking known, right? And he ran off the show, the one that played Beverly Crusher. He chased her off the show and got that other person in, and then that person failed, so they brought back Beverly. But Gene was not the nicest guy in the fucking world. He was a retired cop who had a great idea for a TV show. And he had begun, I think, doing westerns and cop shows, I believe.
I get the point that Anti-Trucker is making here. Okay, yeah, this show was, according to what he's saying about Gene Roddenberry, it was supposed to be a TV show. He wanted to make a buck. Well, okay, yeah. To be blunt, what's your point?
Just a second. Pinoid, you keep doing this. How long do I have to talk about the same city being burned? I mean, seriously, it doesn't help to yell about it every day of the week. So yeah, I'm gonna fucking talk about Star Trek. Go ahead, Doku.
Oh yeah, my point here with what Anti-Trekker is saying, yeah, he has a point, and I acknowledge it. But you're making a point where it's like, yeah, he wanted to make a buck. Yeah, of course he did. Everyone who produces a product wants to sell it.
No, but that's not the point he's making, and he's going to elaborate here more when we let him. But that's not the point he's making. The point he's making is Gene Roddenberry was not a fucking progressive. He was not for multiculturalism. He wasn't for anything. And a lot of the ideas that worked for Star Trek never came from him, and he took the fucking credit and the money from it.
Well,
he's a shyster, man.
Dodge, if you let me finish where I was going. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, the guy wasn't about making a progressive show or anything along those lines. Yeah, I get it. To go to the stretch that Doomcock went, this wasn't Gene Roddenberry's vision. Okay. To say it's a flat out lie, you could make that argument, and you wouldn't necessarily be wrong. But looking at the show Star Trek as a whole is still widely considered to be one of the most progressive shows that has ever existed. So, and I'm not sure how I feel about Anti-Trekker making this assertion. Is Doomcock in the wrong? Probably. I actually agree with Anti-Trekker on this one. That said, to say that what's going on with this particular show, I think he's making a bit of a stretch. He has a point. It still feels like a stretch, especially when you're going to start out the video with, humor is subjective. If you like something or dislike something, well, it's subjective. Well, Anti-Trekker, your opinion about this is also subjective. Just because Doomcock and that Star Wars girl and whoever else, just because they view the show as not being Star Trek and they don't like it, that's also their subjective opinion. The quote lies aside, which I am, if you ever listen to this, Anti-Trekker, I am on your side when it comes to bringing up Gene. Yeah, you got a point. I can't argue against that. That aside, the way we look at the show is still subjective. You said it yourself. So go ahead, Dodge.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and hit play because he goes more into it.
So the first vision of Trek was Gene Roddenberry pushing feminism, not equality among the races, not this utopian vision, feminism. And what is the fandom menace pissed off about? Feminism. The entirety of the fandom menace is antithetical to the vision of Gene Roddenberry. But you know where all that great stuff that we love about Trek came from? It came from people like Gene Kuhn. It came from people like Lucille Ball, from DC Fontana, and many others that molded Trek into this beautiful web of a society, an egalitarian society, where humanity has gotten over his hang-up, his hatred of each other. That hatred, by the way, that the Phantom Menace currently exemplifies. That was brilliant, but that was not Gene Roddenberry's vision. Gene Roddenberry wanted to make a buck. And I will say this, Alan Dean Foster. If you don't know that name, well, I would be very surprised if you call yourself a Trekkie or a Trekker and you don't know the name Alan Dean Foster. He wrote many Star Trek stories that may not be in the series, but appeared in other medium. He wrote novelizations of some of the Star Trek films. He also wrote a brilliant back in the 70s called Star Trek Log 1, Log 2, Log 3, that were novelizations of the animated series, and it goes way further than where any of the episodes in the animated series goes. You should check them out. I had all of those books when I was a kid and loved them. He wrote a comic book that I have called Passage to Moreau or Marov. I can never get it right. Which I love that comic book, and it's one of the very first comic books I ever purchased. Alan Dean Foster wrote the story to Star Trek the Motion Picture, which, by the way, even though Star Trek the Motion Picture as a film was paced horribly and the uniforms were sucky and all that, the story was interesting, and the story unfortunately took second seat to the visual effects of the film. But that story came from Alan Dean Foster. And you know what, Alan Dean Foster, one of the best sci-fi writers that is still alive. You know what he said about Gene Roddenberry? And he said this on a live stream where I was sitting on the panel. He said that Gene Roddenberry is very good at one thing. Gene Roddenberry is very good at taking credit for things that other people have done. And that is exactly what he has done with Star Trek. He takes he did before he passed away. He took full credit for for having this interracial cast. He took full credit for all the brilliance of the original series, all the brilliance of the Next Generation, everything that was great about Trek up to the time he passed away, he took full credit for. And the ironic thing about it is that what almost everybody in the fandom menace would agree about Trek is that the best of Trek is either Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, or Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country. Those are the ones that people think are the best, right? Both of those, by the way, directed by Nicholas Meyer, and the people that wrote and directed those two films were not Trekkies. You don't have to be a fan to make good Star Trek. But the interesting thing about Star Trek II and Star Trek VI to me is that Gene Roddenberry hated them both. Hated them with a passion, in fact. Because the Federation was portrayed as the military. Oh my God! You mean that the sole law enforcement agency of the Federation is the military? Well, yeah, of course. It's the Space Navy. Who cares? Why is that a big deal? Because, Gene Roddenberry believed in a system that didn't have military. Gene Roddenberry.
And it's a good time to pause it. He's almost at the end of his speech here. But, yeah, Gene Roddenberry believed in a system that didn't have military. Wow. For being an ex-cop, he really was a hippie, right?
Yeah, it sounds rather progressive, doesn't it? Which, again, kind of contradicts some of the earlier points made.
No, it's not progressive to have no military. Democrats bomb just as many people. Come on. You remember Obama? Remember that drone program? You know how I said we were going to end it? Yeah, well, funny thing. We put it into fucking overdrive.
That's kind of my point. When you say one thing, but then you turn around and say, "Well, he didn't believe in a system that had military, and that pissed him off." That sounds like a rather progressive standpoint, if you ask me.
No, I just told you I disagreed and gave you the reason why. The progressives want the military just as much. That's not really progressive. What that is a communist utopia. If after everybody is communist and you've acquired your great dream, the whole world's communist, you run the whole world, you don't really need a military anymore now, do you?
Well, that's because everything becomes an arm of the military in one way, shape, or form. But that's actually not the point that's annoying me. This argument of, well, feminism, this or that, that's kind of putting the spin that we see from this quote quote skeptic community post 2015 onto the show, and the fandom menace as a whole. I don't see the irritation coming from, well, we want a society that's egalitarian. I think that assertion is misplaced. The irritation with modern feminism is about entitlement, where it's this particular person, because of reasons, is better than this other person. And I'm not going to put my own opinions on it, but you'll see a lot of people saying, in regards to Star Trek Lower Decks, well, they're treating a certain character of a certain gender, of a certain ethnicity, as kind of a running joke. And, it's a little bit demeaning. But God forbid that you criticize or put another character of a different gender or different ethnicity in that same light, and you'll see people lose their ever-living minds. That's kind of what annoys people. That's not egalitarian. That's entitlement. So if you want to bring politics into it, that's kind of what pisses people off about the whole feminism, SJW argument, because it's not about equality. It's about entitlement. It's about special treatment. And you can take this and pull it away from Star Trek, apply it to Marvel, apply it to anything, really. If a certain class is protected and the other one is fair game, well, guess what? That's not equality. That's entitlement. And that's what the fandom menace, at least to my experience with it, that's what they complain about the most. You can make fun of me as much as you want, but when I'm essentially the whipping boy, yeah, I'm gonna complain. It becomes a little bit obvious that you have a certain degree of hatred and disdain for a certain demographic, and expect some pushback. So don't complain when you get that pushback. That's
Let him finish it off. Go ahead and finish your thought, because I cut you off there on accident.
Oh no, the only thing I was gonna say is when you get pushback because a certain demographic feels like they're kind of being taken a shit on, well, yeah, they're gonna say something about it. And you can't knock them for saying something about it. They have every right to complain about that. Why would you? It's a pretty straightforward argument.
All right. Let's let him finish it off, and then we'll have a little discussion. If anybody wants to join, They can. I didn't have any politics or news stories lined up, but I do have one story we could talk about. You know, that crazy bitch. But
oh god.
Roddenberry was a far left SJW. He was exactly the kind of person that the fandom menace would be disgusted by. He is when people start talking about how Gene Roddenberry would have hated this, almost every time they say that, it's something that Gene Roddenberry would have loved. Gene Roddenberry would have loved Michael Burnham. He absolutely would love Michael Burnham. He would probably love Raffi from Picard. He would love all the stuff that people say he would hate because he was an SJW. But we want to pretend that he was the creator of Star Trek II. We want to pretend that he was the creator of Best of Both Worlds or Chain of Command. Those are the episodes that he didn't like from Next Generation, by the way. We want to pretend that he would think that Deep Space Nine was brilliant. He would have hated Deep Space Nine. And in fact, while he died before Deep Space Nine was produced, he was against the concept of Deep Space Nine. Gene Roddenberry is the opposite of the fandom menace. And Doomcock has the gall, knowing this full well, because he told it to me on a stream, and I've heard him say it multiple times. He knows full well that Gene Roddenberry is not responsible for the vision that is Star Trek. And yet, what does he say over and over and over? How this is a desecration of the Gene Roddenberry vision. That is an outright lie to your face. And what do people do? They swallow it up. They call me a troll. They call me an SJW or whatever, just because I'm not willing to lie to you. Sick. There goes the phone again. I'll tell you what. If I actually had a card saying as a member of the Phantom Menace today, I would burn it. Take care.
And on that note, he is gone. And your thoughts overall?
Where do I really begin? He brought up some good points. There's a lot of things that I actually don't disagree on. But if I had to say anything to Anti-Trekker, I would say this. I don't think you fully understand what the fandom menace actually stands for. Yeah, I can understand that you have some issues with Doomcock. I get that. That's fine. I really don't care about what Anti-Trekker and Doomcock have going on between them. That's between them. That's none of my business. What my issue is, I don't think you really understand why the fandom menace is what it is. It has nothing to do with, oh, well, Star Trek should be this, or the Marvel Universe should be this, or it has this type of vision, and it should have been that. No. It has everything to do with the fact that we don't like, as the people who you're supposed to be pandering to, i.e. the people that pay you for the product you're providing, we don't like the fact that you're taking a crap on us and calling us toxic and this and that, and essentially making us out to be horrible people when we're not. We just don't like the product you're providing, and we're going to criticize it and critique it. And then when we do, you turn around and make us look like absolute fucking assholes, and it pisses us off. And when we express our grievances, then you continue to turn around and make us look like assholes. Like, no, screw you. It's this same type of mentality where, well, it wasn't made for you. we're the ones who have been supporting this franchise ever since it was created. Yes, it was made for us. I'm sorry, I hate to break it to you. Yeah, we're the fans. We're the one who support this. We're the one giving you money. And when you turn around and treat us like crap, well, guess what? We're not happy about it. And we're going to express our grievances. And we're going to say the product that you're providing us is not the same as the product that we were buying.
Yeah.
And you can't treat us like shit because of it. That's why we're pissed.
That's fine. Okay. Here's my response. And I don't care about the little beef Doomcock and Anti-Trekkers seem to be having. That has nothing to do with me. I don't know either of those guys. And what up, Pinoid?
What up, man?
But no, the thing is, my response is simple. I don't like these channels with 500,000 subscribers not actually doing their homework and lying to their viewers. That'd be why I'm not part of the 500,000 that are subscribed to these people, because I unsubscribed to all of them when I started seeing exactly what they were doing months ago, because I've mentioned this on my channel numerous times, have I not? Anti-Trekker's late to the party.
Oh no, and that's fair, and that's why I'm not gonna criticize Anti-Trekker about pointing that out, because he has a point. He's not incorrect. Right. Again, I'm not gonna get into his beef between him and Doomcock. That's between them. But he did bring up a valid point. If you're gonna criticize something, at least do your homework.
Well, can we have the discussion of the age range of these individuals? You know what I'm saying? Like who the fuck is actually like this is aimed at?
And that actually is a good point to bring up. And yeah, you look at what Star Trek, Star Wars, even the MCU, comic books in general. It's not really aimed at kids at this point in time. They'll try, but no, it's aimed towards our generation, and we're all well into our 20s, 30s, even 40s. And I'll put it to you this way: it ain't SpongeBob. We're not watching SpongeBob. If you're making a Star Wars movie, you're targeting our age demographic. You're looking at people in their 20s.
We're the ones. Yeah, we're the ones spending the money right now, right? Like that's how any demographic works. Your consumption base is everybody under people between the ages of like 25 and 45. That's your consumption base. Who the fuck you're aiming at in the demo, right? When they talk about the demo, it's like they say 18 to 29. The reality is it's 25 to 45. Those are the people who go out and spend money on shit because they have the money to spend on shit, and they have families, and they're the ones buying fucking steak and all the other fucking nonsense that goes with the beard butter and all that shit, right? It's not 18-year-olds, because 18-year-olds don't have any fucking money. Well, the reality is this show.
Pinoid.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll put it to you this way, Pinoid. The last time I went to my local comic shop, which was years ago, probably like 2016, 2017. The only time I saw someone below the age of 18 was because they were there with their parents. And it wasn't the kid buying comics. It was the parents.
Yeah. And again, it's because, like, look, when the fucking old fan base, right, stands here and hears about some new shit coming out for the kids, they do this shit. This is why I say it's the same problem that Harley Davidson has. Like, every time Harley tries to make a bike that's, like, better than, like, the garbage that they make right now, you know what I mean? Like, they're people bitch. Like, the people who own Harleys whine and complain and go, oh, no. Right? Because, like, fucking they're assholes. And they're stuck in this fucking mix. And Star Trek and Star Wars is on the same level. Like, they're constantly having to deal with old fucks. And you go like, yo, look, can we make some shit for the next group coming up? Because you're going to be gone soon. You know what I mean? Like, yo, if you're in your 30s and you still care about Star Trek, I feel for you. Legit. Because we're grown fucking men. Like, we got kids and families and fucking jobs. There's other shit to deal with.
Oh, Pinoid, the issue more, and this is my opinion, but the issue more is not about the fact that, you know, do you still care about Star Wars or Star Trek? No, we still want our escapism. If you have time for that, at least.
Yeah, not only that, but I do reviews and shit, so I have to watch it and I have to talk on it. And I do like Star Trek, and it's always been the people in their 30s or 40s that buy the autographs, that pay the big money to go to conventions. They have to cater to that group too, my friend.
But I'm saying the people who really liked fucking Star Trek, right, to begin with, like the Captain Kirk people, right? They were kids watching that fucking show. They were they were teenagers watching that show, right? You know what I mean? And like, they want more teenagers to watch the show. This isn't made for kids. It's made for teenagers. You know what I mean? And like, we can stand here and go, oh, you know, fucking the gratuitous sexual violence and all this. What? Fuck that. Right? The Bible Belt don't hold any sway anymore. That's not a real thing anymore. All right? And the fucking teenagers have been watching South Park since 1999. You know what I mean? In fucking the first episode, Cartman had a fucking giant satellite sticking out of his ass. You know? And
Pinoid, here's my point. Here's my point. You have this demographic of people who were kids when they very first got into Star Trek, Star Wars. Take your pick. Even G.I. Joe. The problem that these people that are running these franchises now are experiencing is because they can't get teenagers or kids into it. They don't care. The kids now, the demographic that they're trying to appeal to, they don't care about it. The demographic that they're trying to take a crap on are the 20, 30, 40-year-olds that grew up with it, that they're now saying are, you know, toxic, we don't care about you. And the ones they're treating like crap, that's why they're not selling anything. And then
when's the last time a Star Trek came out that you liked?
Oh yeah, I don't. Good damn question.
When's the last time?
I can answer that. I like Lower Decks to somewhat of a degree. Picard had a few moments that were okay, but really,
when's the last time one came out that you liked? That like you would fucking defend?
Enterprise. I'll defend Enterprise, and I have to because a lot of people hate it.
I mean, like for me, legit, it was Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, I went the one. Well, I guess Voyager kind of ended after, but I didn't really like. Janeway's a bitch, but
again, Cisco was the shit.
Yeah,
but again, when was this? And how old was I? You're talking what, 97, 98 maybe?
No, Deep Space Nine went to 99 or so, and then in 2000, Enterprise came out, did 4 years.
Well, no, I'm saying, when did Deep Space Nine premiere? What, 97?
Oh, premiere, yeah, because it went into the 2000s.
Okay, I was 14.
Oh, again, that's my point. Is the demographic that's actually going to give you money? Yeah, they're the ones that grew up on this, regardless of what our age was at the time. But now the people in charge of this franchise are demonizing us, while at the same time failing horribly at trying to bring younger people into it and actually make them spend money on this franchise.
Okay,
or more specifically, Dodge, real quick.
No, you've cut me off enough. I can cut you off. How do you get in on a franchise to begin with? Usually, it's sitting down with your parents and watching TV after dinner. That's how I got into Star Trek.
That's what I was just about to say. More specifically, how do you get your children to actually go ahead and want to watch something so that the parents, the ones that actually have the money, will spend money on it? That's where they're failing. And instead of actually providing a better product that will appeal to children, instead, they're trying to appeal to whoever the hell it is they're trying to appeal to. And guess what? There's no parents with children who are going to spend money on your franchise because the people they're appealing to don't have kids.
My dad has the box set. But my dad has the box set of Captain Kirk, all right? he didn't really like The Next Generation, and he fucking most definitely didn't like Deep Space Nine. All right? Everybody, like, yo, you'll pick up the next shit. Now, I mean, that's kind of how this works. You may sit down and watch The Next Generation or Deep Space Nine or fucking Enterprise. You know, I hope you're not fucking showing your kids Enterprise, because that shit is garbage. Right? But, like, you might pick up on something later on that you're not going to like, Mad Dodge, and your kids will. Because that's how kids work. And that's what they're doing.
And that's the thing. If you're appealing to a demographic and you want to appeal to children, guess what? You might as well appeal to someone who actually has kids so that the parents will spend money on the franchise. But you're appealing to people who, A, don't have kids, and B, don't want to spend money on your franchise unless you're appealing to them.
You're appealing to teenagers, is what you're appealing. You're trying to appeal to teenagers and dumb stoned potheads who are fucking 20 years old with this fucking show. That's who you're appealing to. Well, it's TV. And you don't spend money on fucking TV. All right. Dude. I've never bought anything from South Park. I've never had a T-shirt. I've never bought a game. I might have went and saw the movie, right?
Pino, your point is invalid, and this is why. They expect you to pay. There's a paywall to watch it.
On what? On what? CBS All Access? What the fuck's it on?
It's only on All Access and not on the network. It is not a free TV show. You might have a point if it was a true TV show. No, this is behind a paywall, and this is the only shit getting people to get All Access is the Trek. Because CSI, yeah, we like it, but are we going to pay for it? No. Because it's syndicated now. It's on all the cable channels.
Yeah, but I'll pay for, like, you know, fucking, like, Burn Notice or fucking, like... Dude, I keep an Amazon Prime membership just for fucking the Grand Tour.
I keep it for shipping and handling and the Expanse, but that's just me.
Yeah, I'm a car guy. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I keep it for the Grand Tour, right? Because I was a Top Gear fan, and then, like, you know, they fucking disbanded, and, like, they're all on fucking the Grand Tour now, which is a new show that they make. But they only come out with, like, one episode every 6 months, which is fucking retarded. But I still pay the $10 a month to fucking Amazon to fucking watch it, right? And, again, the CBS All Access thing, like, legit, if it's there on that fucking thing, like, it's for the kids who have or teenagers or the 20-somethings who are on their parents' fucking thing.
I don't know. I just, yeah, I know. They need the younger generation to pick it up. And, yeah, my kids, like, my son likes anime. I hate anime. I really do. I fucking hate anime.
I like Dragon Ball Z. That's about it. Right, and like I liked Akira when the first that's the first one I've ever watched was Akira, and then like you know you had fucking Dragon Ball Z come out. After that, I'm fucking done. Motherfuckers like you need to watch Shampoo or fucking you know Cowboy Bebop, and I'm like man, I know about all this shit, but I fucking hate it. I think it's retarded. Like I don't like fucking Japanese bitches. I'm not a fan of you know what I'm saying like Japanese culture. I like my culture. I have a culture. I'm not an American. You know what I mean? Where I don't have anything to myself other than like, you know, fucking macaroni and cheese and hot dogs. You know what I'm saying?
Damn. Oh, no, you're a monkey. You got bananas, right?
Right. Like, yo, I've changed it. I'm no longer an Appalachian mud gorilla. I'm an Appalachian river gorilla. All right. You know what I'm saying? Right. But like, I have my own culture.
All right. I'm gonna have to tell AP on you. Hey, He's got some information that he needs. That casino is not being run properly.
Yeah, they're letting the fucking tranny gorillas up in that bitch.
Well, look, I'm a pangender Bolivian flute-playing gorilla king whose proper motherfucking pronoun is a pimp named Slickback. Yes, you must say the name, say a whole thing.
Oh.
Yes, right.
It's a pimp named Slickback.
Right. Yeah, I'm saying like, but again, like fucking, you gotta. This shit isn't for us. It's just not. All right, our time was back then. It's not now.
Oh, Pino, you have to remember, even with a lot of anime coming out still isn't made for kids. It's made for people of our generation. Like, look at some of this. look at some of the stuff that's coming out. It is not made for kids. Like,
again, but look at a lot of it though is.
Dude,
like,
I still watch anime.
Wait. Let's define kids here for a second, all right? Because there's a difference between Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And motherfucking Samurai Jack and Dragon Ball Z. There's a huge difference between the age range of fucking the reach of these shows, right?
Oh, I'm not talking about anything like that. Just from watching the past 2 seasons, the only thing that I've seen that I would say is okay for kids is apparently they're rebooting Digimon, which I have no interest in.
That's again, that's like kids though. That's like fucking 9, 10, 11-year-olds. I'm talking 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old kids.
Well, okay, so Bino, my example is, in the meantime, there's a show coming out, or no, it's running right now, called Peter Grill, Strongest Person in the World or something. And the entire plot line is the fact that he's the strongest man in the world. Every other woman in the world wants to fuck him. Like, that's what anime has become. It's not geared towards kids.
Yo, that's for teenagers.
Oh yeah, no, that's my point. But this is exactly where I'm going.
That if you catch a teenager like that, that's how they called us with South Park. At least me and fucking Mad Dodge, right? That's how they catch you, is because they catch you as a teenager liking some edgy shit.
Oh, and that's my point. Star Wars, Star Trek, they haven't caught that audience. And they haven't caught the kids. They're casting aside the old school audience that's going to buy it no matter what. Where is the audience? It's not there. That's why they're failing as a franchise. That's why they're losing money.
Yeah, because egalitarianism is failing as a whole, and especially with younger kids. Like, they fucking, like, everybody knows this whole thing's fucking garbage. Everybody knows the gig is up, right? Like, you have to remember, the world is changing. So, like, altogether, like, the world is completely changing as to what it used to be to what it is today, right? Like, the world is becoming a whole new thing. And so, the mentality of a giant fucking force of, you know what I'm saying, like, of Earth space drones fucking going out and colonizing fucking space, does that sound like something kids are gonna like?
It depends. Depends on how you present it to them.
Yeah, look, if you legit say that you're out here fucking having colonies on other planets, that sounds a whole lot like colonialism.
Oh, dude, remember when tsunami was a thing?
Yeah.
Gundam Wings and Gundam, their entire thing.
Is he breaking up for you, Mad Dodge, or just me?
A little bit, but not too bad. Try again, Doku. Looks like it might have disconnected him. No, and I don't know, man, because yeah, a lot of the people hated TNG. A lot of TNG people hated Deep Space Nine. I brought that up before. Like, I hate Discovery, but maybe it keeps the franchise alive. I don't see how, because it was really, really bad.
Like, the younger generation is gonna like shit that you're not gonna like. And that's just kind of where it is. Like, you know what I mean? Fucking, like, just like, you know, when you start talking about, like, me and you listened to rap when we were kids, right? And fucking, you know, you like Snoop Dogg and, you know, fucking, I don't fucking know, those West Coast people out there, whoever the fuck else, MC Ren,
yeah, Ice Cube,
right.
Dr. Dre,
right.
Yeah.
Right, but then Tekashi 6ix9ine comes out. I know you're not bumping Tekashi in your Camaro.
Yeah, no, not so much.
Right? This is what I'm saying. Like, yo, fucking things move along when it comes to, like, what did Ben Franklin say? He said, when it fucking comes to matters of fucking, when it comes to matters of fucking policy and state or fucking, like, real culture, fucking, you know, you fucking stand fast. When it comes to matters of fashion, you know, move like the water. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Because, like, that's how it works.
Yeah, no, and I understand what you mean by that. And Doku dropped off. This was just pretty much a response to Anti-Trekker. Dade hated him. Doku disagreed. I kind of agreed with him. Other than the Doomcock stuff, I'm not getting in bigger YouTubers fucking beefs. That ain't my place.
You should, man. Pick up some subs and shit. You know what I mean? Like, fucking take a side. Fucking go to war.
Yeah, take a side.
Fucking, oh, dude, by the way, there was another police shooting yesterday, right? And they set the city on fire in Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Yeah, I saw that. It's just...
I made a video on it. Like, I don't know, man. Like, yo, they legit, in front of the niggas, 3 kids, they shot this dude in the back 7 fucking times just because he was trying to get in his car and leave.
7? Damn. That's 2 more than Tupac got. Yeah.
No, that's as many as Tupac got in his last one. He got hit 7 fucking times when he died in Vegas. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Like, that's, you know what I mean? Like, this is what the fuck happened. You know what I mean? Yesterday. And that's why I'm like, man, I can't believe Mad Dodge isn't ringing off on this one, you know?
I don't know what to say about it, man. I've been watching my own state burn for 3 months and nobody seems to give a shit. So
yo, legit. Yo, I had to bring my load that I had. I was going to Kenosha, Wisconsin, right? And I had to bring my load here to fucking Chicago. And, you know what I mean, Bolingbrook, and drop it fuck off. And I'm waiting on a load to get here so it can send me back to my neck of the woods where I'm fucking safe.
Oh, damn. But, all right, everybody. I think we're going to end this, though. Pinoid, stick around with me off air. I want to show you a song that'll probably get me copyright struck. But, all right, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, very much. It's been the Redeye stream. I'll be back in the next day or two doing another stream. I'm probably going to be talking about North Korea. Kim Jong-un is in a coma, supposedly. And the crazy-ass sister might be taking control. And if you've seen pictures of this bitch, damn, I don't want to go near her. If kill, like that cameraman, he died after, right? She had to execute his ass. Like, she, fucking
yo, there's a bit of fucking good news for North Korea.
Yeah, she's a psycho bitch. Koreans, I didn't mean it. Please don't kill me.
Yo, look, man, seriously, the Koreans can't touch you.
I know they're too short. Oh, anyway, we're out of here. Good night. Good luck. Don't go to France.